G'day gang, welcome back to episode number 124 at the BS Machine. Absolute honour to be here with you. I am your host, Tommy Kendi, and I'll be walking you through 5 very simple steps to a kick-ass relationship with yourself. That's cool, isn't it? I'm not talking about relationships in general as in intimate ones or friendship groups or whatever. I'm talking about 5 steps and very simple steps, and they're actually kick-ass steps, ones that work for me, to a incredible relationship with yourself. And that is the most important thing, because we spend a lot of time, don't we, concentrating or focusing on the relationships on the outside of ourselves, and that's all well and good and it's all great and whatnot, but ultimately I believe it's impossible to have great relationships, whether they're intimate, whether they're friendship groups, whatever they are. But I find, how can you have or how can you manifest or create an epic relationship with someone else when you don't even have a good relationship with yourself? And so some of these 5 steps that I'll be sharing with you this today, well, I was going to say this morning, but whatever time you're listening, that you know, it's so important. Even these 5 really simple steps will get you super close to that a great relationship with yourself. And I genuinely believe, just like I said just now, that the most important thing, the most important focus or this inner belief about ourselves, and the best way to do that is to build the concrete, the slate, the slab to the relationship with ourselves before we take it anywhere else, whether it's, you know, even relationships with money, relationship with, you know, other people, intimacy, friendship groups, the way that you see yourself, others, and the world. So I think it's super important to come back to that building foundation, that ultimate relationship with yourself. And only you know what that relationship is like yourself. I mean, I don't know, because I know what the relationship with myself is like, and I know what it used to be like. But I know these days I'm in a really good place with myself, regardless of whether the outside world is fucking going crazy and insane. I know that I can always come back to myself, and 9 times out of 10, I'm very happy in my own skin. And there's always going to be that leeway of 10-20% when you're just like, fucking hell, that was a good one. Did a good fuck up. Anyway, so that takes me to my first step, which I believe is the key foundation to what happens thereafter. And the first step to a kick-ass relationship with yourself is to love the shit out of yourself. That is number 1. And I reckon it's a really good starting block. Yeah, because so many of us, we spend so much time being guilty of our failures and being guilty of our mistakes and the pain that we've caused others, or the pain that we've actually received, whether it's, you know, shit that we've been through our childhood or whatever else. And then the biggest one, you know, that this is one that I've really been hearing, almost like it's this throwaway comment, is yeah, I'm a massive self-sabotager. And it's almost like people are like proud of it. It's like, yeah, I went to do this, but I just self-sabotaged it. And it's like you're trying to, you know, tell yourself that you self-sabotage, but you're almost proud of it. And I've heard that quite a bit as of late. And I'm like, well, do you know what? What are you doing? I mean, of course, if you're coming back to yourself and you're loving the shit out of yourself, and it's great, but don't use these throwaway comments as ways to just push it under the carpet, because if you are a self-sabotager, don't be fucking proud of it. Like, love the shit out of yourself and find that love to be able to see how you're self-sabotaging. And then part of loving yourself is also having full ownership and full responsibility for the ways that you're self-sabotaging. You know, the pain that you've caused others in the past, like, all well and good. You know, you might have fucked up with friends or partners or whatever else, and you've caused pain, or you've said some shit that really isn't the real you. But You don't have to define yourself by it. So we really have to, in order to really love ourselves, we have to let go of this fucking dialogue that we notice ourselves saying multiple times a day, a week, when these, so really notice these little words and sentences and phrases that you say, because if you find you're saying things more over and over again, you're actually blocking that part of you where you're allowed to love the shit out of yourself. And part of loving the shit out of yourself is accepting the pain, accepting the failures of the past, accepting, the self-sabotage as we spoke about before. And the way that you come back to love the shit out of yourself is you simply give thanks to what happened in the past. And I've spoken a lot about this before, where you just accept that the past is the past, and that's already happened. So it doesn't matter how powerful you think you are, or how, whatever you think your life is happening in your life at the moment, regardless, whatever's happened in the past, good, bad, ugly, beautiful, has already happened. It's such a good reminder. You can't fucking do anything about it. Perfect example for me, which, I'll mention in a little bit, because I've just gone through that, but I can't do anything but just to accept what's happened with it. And yeah, I've made some fuck ups and whatever, but I've accepted it. This is just very recent. And I still, despite the fact that I've fucked up in the past, I am still in this place, not still, and happy and grateful to be in this place. So I'm loving the shit out of myself. So let the past be in the past. Whatever you think is going to happen in the future, it hasn't happened yet, so you got no idea what magic awaits you. I always assume that there's just magic coming at me as I move forward in life, and you know what? Quite often it does. And when it happens, the magic happens, I'm like, oh, there you are. I thought you were going to come at some point, eh? So being here and just accepting what's happened in the past, and that gives you this ability to stand strong in your own body, to have your heart open, shoulders back, chin up, and be like, fuck yeah, man. Like I deserve to love the shit out of myself. I really do. You deserve it. You genuinely deserve it. Regardless of where you are right now, you deserve to love the fuck out of yourself in its full capacity. To be able to go to the mirror, look at yourself and go, fuck yeah. Like, look at you. You are an absolute wizard. You're a goddess. You're a fucking master. Like, look where you've got to. And I love you. Like, I love you. When's the last time you looked in the mirror and just looked yourself in the eyes and said, I fucking love you? Man, what a powerful practice that is. But find ways. How can you love the shit out of yourself? And even if it's just a comment, even when you're not feeling it, maybe that's the comment that you come back to each day, each morning. Like, you wake up and you're just like, fuck yeah, I love you, man. Like, be good at loving yourself. Get better at loving yourself. And if you're already good at loving yourself, fucking get even better at it. Like, go for gold. Like, be the best lover of yourself you ever could be. And there's different ways of doing that. One is just what I said, or two, I just mentioned a couple, but it's always this reminder. Don't get stuck in the past. The past is fucked, man. Like, even if the best shit has happened to you in the past, regardless, you are here. You're in this breath. You're in this moment. The past is absolutely irrelevant. You get to make the choices you get to make now. And if you do it from a place of loving yourself, I can guarantee you that you're going to do it from a place of being of service to you, to others, and the world. That's what we want to do. That's step one. Love the shit out of yourself. Number two, make time to grow and expand. Yeah, step two, make time to grow and expand. Massive one, guys. It's all well and good to just sit around and do whatever, but you've got to make time to grow and expand. Do the shit that scares you. And don't just do the shit that scares you. Be extreme, like accentuate the thing. Do the shit that scares the shit out of you. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Put yourself into situations where you know you'll grow, where you're not going to get comfortable. one of the greatest ones to do that is to have awkward and tough conversations. You know, I've spoken about this too in the past, but it's a big step where, you know, you've got some stuff that you've shoved under the carpet and it's just sitting there, and you know it's festering, and you know that you want to write an email or you want to have a conversation or have that conversation. And for those of you that it's a tip of your little mouth to have those little conversations, I would listen to this podcast, and then the first thing I would do is pick up your fucking phone and have those conversations, whether it's a mum, whether it's a dad, whether it's a brother, sister, whether it's your partner. You know, like, man, it's so powerful. Because, I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? Maybe you'll experience a little bit of pain, but then look, how cool is it going to, how free are you going to feel after? Every single time I put myself in uncomfortable situations, which I just have, and I'll tell you, but I sort of mentioned it before with the self-sabotage. I've just put myself in a very uncomfortable situation, and I won't go into it too much, but what I will tell you is that I'm one of those people when it comes to tax. I don't know if you can relate, but one of those people that when it comes to tax time, I just sit there going, nah, I'll be all right, mate. Nah, I'm fucking hell, man. So anyway, I haven't done my tax in like 4 years or maybe 3 years. And I've literally been shoved under the carpet for 3 years. I think the last one was 2019 or whatever it was. Anyway, I had a conversation with my best mate, who's like a full financial guru. I had a conversation with my beautiful partner, my beautiful fiance, Nicola, who's incredible with money. I had a conversation with my accountant, who is a very nice guy. And you know what came out of that conversations? What came out of those conversations is it's nowhere near as bad as what I thought. So I'm doing my tax. Yay! So I'm very excited to get my tax done over the last 2-3 years. And my partner, Nick, will probably yell at me. She's like, Tommy, you can't tell that to everyone. Fuck, I can tell whoever I want that I haven't done my tax in 2-3 years because it's getting done and it's fucking happening. Anyway, so that was very uncomfortable for me. I knew that in order for me to grow and expand, I had to look at this part of my life. I had to look at these taxes and I had to just get it done. And it scared the shit out of me because I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be up for hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever. Oh my God, I'm going to lose everything. And I was like, it's actually not as bad as what I thought. So I put myself in an uncomfortable situation where I knew that I would grow and expand. And I had the awkward and tough conversations. So that was just me. I'm sharing what I went through, but it could be something totally different with you. You're probably, really good at your taxes. And sometimes I wish I was an employee, not running my own businesses and whatever, because then, I'd just get my pay and I knew tax would be coming out. But it's like, I've got to give all this to the government. How annoying is that? But anyway, now I see value in it. So that's for me. For you, have it, do it. Make time to grow and expand. And you know what? Grow and expand, it just doesn't have to be awkward conversation. It could just be you going to an acting class, you having, like, calling that psychologist, that coach, that counselor, or whatever, to, you've had it in your mind to have a conversation about someone helping you grow and expand and getting the assistance and the help. Fuck, man, make the call, like, get it done. It's so cool when you do stuff like that, and when it's just and the world just opens up. When you've got help, the world opens up, because one, you're being held accountable, and two, you've got someone helping you and mentoring you and pushing you. It could be that you go to whatever, I don't know, if you're fucking drunk and, I mean, I don't want to, be a prick or whatever, but if you've been thinking about going to AA or something like that, get it the fuck done. I mean, how cool would that be? If you're, and I don't want to make this a joke, because I know alcoholism is a proper thing. I've had clients that are, alcoholics and whatever, and I fucking feel like I have so much empathy. But imagine, going to a place where you're going to be met with the people that see your pain, the people that see what you're going through, and they'll be like, man, I gotcha, we've been through this, let's go, like, I feel your pain, I gotcha. whatever it might be. Go to do shit. You know what I'm talking about. You know what it means for you to put yourself and scare the shit out of yourself and allow yourself to be uncomfortable. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations, expand and grow. Cool. Step 2. So step 1 was love the shit out of yourself. And as we go, you could even take notes or just remember, go, oh yeah, I want to do that. Because I bet you that as you're listening to this podcast, you're picking up on certain things and you might be like, yeah, I'm going to do that. But then now you've probably forgotten about it. So if you want, you can just take notes as we go or just put them in your memory bank, whatever. Pick up your notes, whatever. Anyway, you know what you're doing. Anyway, number 3, which is I find one of the key things for me that helps me incredibly well, and it's fucking awesome. Give back to your body, give back to your mind, give back to your spirit. Have daily musts that have to happen. My daily musts, even if I miss out on yoga or miss out on, my daily must is fucking cold therapy, cold water, either jump in the ocean, cold shower, whatever, and breath work. They're my 2 that without a doubt, they are happening pretty much every day. Like out of 7 days, I would be doing cold water and breath work at least 6 days out of the week. So have your daily musts that have to happen. There is, even if you can't be fucked, do it. And the reason for me, the cold water and the breath work really work for me is because it's like a 3-banger. It's like body, mind, and spirit. All 3 get a good like smash in the face. My body's like, holy shit, I'm alive. My mind just goes instantly into full clarity, and my spirit is alive, because when your body and mind are alive, your spirit goes, thank you, I'm connected to you right now. And you feel your spirit around you. Like spirit is an actual thing. When you tap into it, it feels like it's your body and your mind. And you feel like, you know how you touch your, I don't know, skin and your arm and whatever, and you feel the stuff, like whatever. I mean, when you feel the stuff, you can feel your spirit in exactly the same way. And, I've got my other stuff like yoga and meditation and all this other shit, that whatever, but you got to have your daily musts. If you don't know what your daily musts are, you need to get at least 1 or 2, and you know what they are. That could be meditation, that could be, it could be running, it could be doing fucking 100 push-ups, whatever it is. But give back to your body, your mind, and your spirit. And, that could be nutrition, food. Definitely something I need to look at in my own life, because I definitely don't have, my nutrition and nourishment is definitely that I'm looking into at the moment. I'll just say I'm looking into it, but I've got my daily must, so I know what's going to invigorate my body, my mind, and my soul. So you've got to give back to your body and keep going, keep doing it. Daily musts, you know what they are, and if you don't, you better fucking get some. You got to have your daily musts. All right, that was number 3. So number 1 out of our 5 steps is love the shit out of yourself. We went deep into that. Number 2, make time to grow and expand. We went into that. Number 3, give back to your body, your mind, and your spirit. All 3, not just one of them. So if you're just a gym junkie and you're going to gym all the time, but your mind's all over the shop, no. All 3, body, mind, and spirit. So if you want some things, some ideas of what is, where you're killing 3 birds with 1 stone, you've got body, mind, and spirit. You could do yoga, you could do breath work, and you could do cold water therapy. Even if it's just breath work and cold water therapy, all up, that would take you 20 fucking minutes. That is nothing. Yeah, so you find your own way. If it's body, mind, and spirit, body could be go to the gym, go for a run, go for a bike, go for a fucking walk, go hug someone. I don't give a fuck, whatever it is. Just make your body alive. Do breath, kundalini, anything. Mind, meditation. Mind could also be a journaling. Like talk fucking... your mind, like journaling, as in express yourself, express your mind, put down your ideas, your creativity, get it done. Spirit, yeah, you got meditation, you got all type of different things you can do. Even breath work is spirit. Spirit is tapping in, like intuitive readings about yourself, the spirit guide. If you've got a deck of, spirit guide cards or whatever, even that's spirit. Like, pull out a deck a day and whatever it says, like I go, like actually reflect on it, look at it. How does this serve me? Yeah. Number 3, give back to your body, your mind, and your spirit to have your daily must. And even if you can't be fucked, do it anyway. Yay. Cool. All right. Number 4. This is a bit of a weird one, but it works for me. So the 5 steps. This is step number 4. Get sexy with yourself. Get sexy with yourself. I reckon it's so important to have that connection to sexuality. And sexuality for me is actually quite important. And it doesn't, I'm not talking about that I need to bang every day or whatever, but sexuality, that intimacy. You know, and everyone's different. Some people use sexuality and intimacy as a dysfunctional thing because they're trying to hide from certain parts of themselves, you know. I think sexuality and intimacy is so fucking important. And if you're single right now, totally fine. I mean, even with me at the moment, me and Nick are trying to get pregnant again. Obviously, most of you, if you're avid podcast or BS Machine listeners, you know what we went through about 3-4 months ago. We had a stillbirth. And so now we're trying to get pregnant again, and we're going through the motions, and it's a different experience now because it's almost like sex is still awesome and it's fun, and me and Nick have a really, really great sex life, and we'll always have. But now it's like parts of it are like, oh my God, I'm ovulating, we've got to bang. You know, it's like it's a weird dynamic now, and I'm like, oh. So I'm trying to find myself around that, and it's quite an interesting dynamic. But even still, with get sexy with yourself. Like, masturbation is a big one. You know, like even though if me and Nick are trying all week and whatever else, I'll still find time to knock one out, you know, and no, because I will. I mean, it's important, you know, whether it's, I reckon masturbation is a really powerful aspect to getting comfortable with yourself, you know, and it shouldn't just be chucking on porn and knocking one out in 10 seconds. Like, you can actually do some pretty cool exercises with yourself where it's not just just to knock one out and catch you later, but yeah, so you got to have time, like find that time to get sexy, get intimate with yourself, and I think it's really important that even if you've got a sex, or not a sexy, but even if you've got a strong, sexual relationship, or whether it's an intimate partner or whatever else, I think it's still important to spend time on your own and make sure you knock a couple out a week at least, I reckon. Whether girl, boy, whatever you are, I don't even know if you're allowed to say those things anymore, but whatever you are, give yourself that gift of the touching base with your sexual desires, yeah? And also with sexual desires, like even with that, with your partner, like don't be scared to have a conversation about what it is that you want and what it is that you'd like to experience and how can I give back to you and all that type of stuff, because it becomes more fun. And fuck man, most of us have a very avid imagination, which I know I do, and so you can make up all sorts of shit when you're doing that stuff, and it's fucking cool. Anyway, that's enough, because I'm not a sex expert. I never said I was. Still have a lot to learn, but I'm sure everyone does. But I'm just sharing what works for me. Get sexy with yourself, motherfucker. Get sexy with yourself. All right, number 5, guys. Final step into having a kick-ass relationship with yourself. Reflect and realign. What that means is you constantly have to reflect. You constantly have to come back to yourself. Whether it's the end of every day, the end of every week, at least. Reflect on what happened in the week and realign. What can I do better? I mean, it sounds so fucking cliche. Some things that come out of my mouth, it's so cliche, but it's so fucking true. imagine if every day you reflected back on the day and you went, okay, so this is what I did here, this is what I did there, I could have done this better. And then when it comes up next time, whether it's tomorrow or next week, next month, whatever, you're like, hang on, I've already done it like that and that didn't work. Or maybe I've done it like that 100 times, it didn't work that time. So should we try something different? Yeah, I reckon that's the go. So bring it back in, reflect, and then once you've reflected, once you know, once you're aware of where you've gone wrong, where you've gone right, not wrong and right, where you've done it in a way that's brought you joy or happiness, or you've been able to step into joy or happiness, and where you've done things where it's put you in a place of like off balanceness or awkwardness or whatever. And it's so easy. Just observe the obvious. Don't fucking read into it and be like, oh my God, yeah, because I was in the child thing and then. Just when you're reflecting and realigning, when you're just doing it on a subtle aspect, you don't need to go into the whole hoo-ha and, oh my God, I've got to go to a psychologist now because I've self-sabotaged to that. No, just reflect, observe the obvious and realign. And once you realign, you know that tomorrow, if the same shit happened, what would you do? You'd do something different. What would it be? How could you do it different? So you got to reflect, realign, and whether that happens. And dude, I put this shit in my diary. Like Sundays, I'm going to bring up my diary now. Sunday nights is at, what time is it at? At like 9 p.m. on a Sunday is Spirit Guide, is what I call it. And I spend time on Sunday afternoons, whether it's with a piece of paper or not. Spirit Guide, eyes closed, tune in. What's going on? How have I gone from the week? I reflect, realign. What can I do better? Where's my energy at? Am I looking forward to this week? If I'm not, why? Put myself into a place where I'm looking forward to the week. I know what I'm going to get it done. I know what I'm going to do. So I'm reflecting, I'm realigning, and I'm getting that done. So that's where we're at, guys. The 5 steps to a kick-ass relationship with yourself. So you've got number 1, love the shit out of yourself. We went into it. Number 2, make time to grow and expand. Went into it. 3, give back to your body, your mind, your spirit. Number 4, get sexy with yourself. Fucking knock one out, mate. And then number 5, reflect and realign. Guys, that is the episode number 124. Thank you for listening. If you got some gold out of this episode, I'm very grateful, but please share with your mates, with your people. Share it out. Let people know that this podcast is around. It helps a lot. And yeah, I look forward to chatting to you guys next week. Hey, by the way, next week I've got a really cool guest on. We're recording the pod episode, I think on Wednesday or something, but he's anyway, should I tell you? Yeah, I'll tell you. Next week, so he's like a bereavement specialist, and I met him through yoga and whatever, but it's so interesting because he's got such a deep insight into how people are at the end of their lives. So he spends time with people at the end of their lives, and he was telling me some stories, and I'm like, wow, dude, I've got to get you on. I've got to share some of these stories because they sound incredible of how people are when they get to the end of their lives and they know they're about to pass or they're going to pass, and the insights that they have about their lives. And fuck, I'm so excited to chat to him. Anyway, so yeah, that'll be next week. His name's Andrew, and he'll be on the potty with us next week. So hopefully you join us then. But otherwise, if you got something out of this, please feel free to share. If you're listening on the podcast app, good on ya. If you're on Spotify, fucking good on ya. Or if you're watching me on YouTube, yeah, that's where it is. So guys, have a kick-ass week and do your thing. Love you guts. See you, bye.